The top cop who put his badge on the line for justice.
The gripping story of Deputy Sheriff Doug Poppa. He was a top cop who did the right thing and paid dearly for it.
You know the name Doug Poppa?
Yes, I do. God bless Doug Poppa, an honest cop.
He was a man of integrity. His testimony last summer freed an innocent man from jail who had already been convicted of shooting his ex-wife. But Poppa's going public cost him his job as an undercover cop.
I was elated, of course. But then as he testified, I was somewhat concerned for him because I knew that they were probably going to crucify that man.
Doug Poppa was targeted for a 10-day suspension by his own department for defying superiors and talking to the media. This Brooklyn-born street fighter wouldn't back down.
Sometimes the truth has a price. That may be the lesson of a Virginia police officer who says in trying to do the right thing, he ended up paying for it.
The message you're sending is, see, we did it, Doug. You don't come out, you don't buck the system. No matter what the reason is, you just can basically keep your mouth shut. But if I wouldn't do it all over again, I would take the badge and I would leave it on somebody's desk and get out of police work. Because the day I can tell the truth because somebody's pressuring me, and the day the system doesn't want me to tell the truth because somebody's pressuring me, is the day I leave the badge on the desk and walk away.
Poppa was fired for insubordination. One man who confronted truth and consequences.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Doug Poppa podcast from Las Vegas, Nevada. Excuse me. It's Monday, May 22nd, 2023. Hold on one second. I got to get this audio down. Back feed here. Feedback. 1, 2. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the topic of today's podcast, it's not something I normally follow, but you'll see why I picked this up. Topic today, did something fall out of the sky and crash in Las Vegas in the early morning hours of May 1st, 2023 this year? The second part of this podcast, this is exclusive to the Doug Poppa podcast. Why is the family that reported it to the police allegedly under police video surveillance? Why is their home under video surveillance by the police? We'll get to all that. Let's start out with this. Okay. On Thursday, May 18th, I put this out on my Twitter. I get this information if it comes in from police sources. It's raw. Sometimes it's unfiltered. And I put it right out. So on Thursday, May 18th, I put this out. Exclusive, breaking news, Las Vegas, May 18, 2023. Unidentified airborne object allegedly crashed on May 1st, 2023, sources say. And then I put my little heading in there, and I said, exclusive, breaking news, Las Vegas, from the Doug Poppa podcast. Police sources claim unknown airborne object crashed on May 1st in the Northwest Area Command Patrol Sector. Talk that it may have been a new type of drone from Creech Air Force Base, LVMPD Communications Center, put out over the CAD system, which is a computer-aided dispatch system, to patrol units that PR, which is person reporting, said 8 to 10 feet tall aliens were walking away from the crash. Allegedly, government vehicles were seen in the area the following day. Officers' body-worn cameras recorded incident site. It's all hush-hush, and officers were told not to discuss the incident, sources say. And I put, sounds crazy, but who knows? And then I followed it up the same day, May 18th, and I put update exclusive from LVMPD dispatch record 5/1/2023 0029 hours. PR person reporting saw something fall from the sky and hearing subjects in the backyard. Subjects are 8 to 10 feet tall and large, shiny eyes. PR advised are not human. And then I put another update on that, May 18, Thursday. Exclusive update, sources. About the same time first call came in, another LVMPD officer was at another location taking a report on an unrelated incident. Officer and PR, person reporting, were outside. Both witnessed object falling from the sky, captured on body cam video. And then I was told the body cam video now deleted from system. That's what I was told that day. That was Thursday. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put some, which I believe it's exclusive to this podcast. Before I get that, I'm going to put the 400 radio codes up on the screen here, and you'll understand why I'm doing it. These are the 400 radio codes that are used by the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. And as you can see, I highlighted a few of them. 408 means drunk. 413, person with a gun. 421A, mentally ill person. 425, suspicious situation. Down the bottom, you see 446, narcotics. And then on the right-hand side, you see disposition, I-IDER, I under H, I-IDER, unable to locate. Okay, get that off the screen there. Just give you an idea of some of the codes that I'm going to read about. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm putting up on the screen here. And, okay, and I'll get this thing blown up. This is the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Communications Bureau log for May 1st, 2023, as it went into the CAD system. And as you can see, I got it, it was clear. And I put black mark on anything that's going to indicate the identity of the last names of the complainants that the police talked to on the phone, the address of the location, and some other personal cell phone numbers and stuff like that. So when I got my watermark on there, and that's right now exclusive to the Doug Poppa podcast. And you can go back later, and if you want to look at it, and do that. Now, what I'm going to read, ladies and gentlemen, is what's on that log, minus any of the entries that have anything to do, like I said, with last names, cell phone numbers, the address. The address is mentioned several times in there, and I blocked all that out, so you're not going to be able to get it. The last part of the event number, I blocked out also, the map location. So that's what I did. So let me start from the top down. Like I said, this does not include the personal identifiers and personal information that I omitted from what I'm going to talk about now. So this is what the dispatcher put out, 0029 hours. So that's after 12:30 in the morning, about 12:30 in the morning, May 1st. Sunday was April 30th. We go into Monday morning, May 1st. So 0029, 29 minutes after the new day. I'm reading what's in the log. Initial caller, TL, and that stands for time lapse, ladies and gentlemen, 10 to 15 minutes ago. And I believe what that is when she's on the phone with the witness, the complainant, the person reporting, he's done that 15, 20 minutes lapse between the time they reported what they saw and then they call the police. So it says TL, that means time lapse, 10 to 15 minutes ago. PR, which is person reporting, saw something fall from sky and hearing subjects in the backyard. Subjects are 8 to 9 feet tall and large, shiny eyes. PR, again, person reporting, advised are not human. It's 0030, and this goes right down to the second, but I'm leaving the seconds off just for time purposes. So at 0030, the dispatcher enters while landline, in other words, on the phone, the subjects are inside of a forklift in the rear yard. So what I'm getting from this is while she's talking to the person who called it in, they're telling the dispatcher the subjects they just described are inside of a forklift in the rear yard of the residence. We go to 0030, 12 seconds. Two subjects are 10 to 11 feet tall, muscular, green/tan colored skin, neon eyes, naked. Negative 408/446/WPNS. And again from the 400 codes, 408 is drunk, 446 is narcotics activity, and WPNS, I believe, stands for weapons. Now, I believe what she's putting in the log is I'm just assuming this because I don't know for a fact. I think she says negative 408/446 WPNS, asking on the phone, are these people look like they're drunk, these things? Are they narcotics? That's what I think. I don't think she's talking about the people on the phone. I think she's asking them, what about the subjects that you saw? I could be wrong on that, so I don't have clarification on that. Anyway, and then she puts person reporting sounds 421A. Now she's describing the person she's talking to, and she says that person sounds 421A, and you saw from the 400 codes, that means mentally ill person. Then at 0032, we got person reporting passed the phone to the father. He is also advising, saw these subjects 15, 20 minutes ago. So as we go on, you'll understand that the son called, and now he passes the phone to the father, and the father's saying he also saw these subjects about 15 minutes ago. So now we have two people. The next entry, person one updated, first name Bobby. Last name, I'm not going to mention his name. So there's 1,000 million Bobbies in Vegas, so you're not going to be able to get anything from that. So she's putting the name of the person she's now talking to, the father, and first name Bobby. That's all I'll say on that. Then at 0036, ladies and gentlemen, 41 seconds, father advises will stand by inside residence with wife and two kids. Negative 408/446/421A for all subjects inside. Okay, now this is confusing to me because now she's saying all the people in the house are now negative 408, they're not drunk, 446, not narcotics activity, and they're not 421A, mentally ill person, for all subjects inside. But she just said she believes the other person, which was the son before that, was 421. Now it's different. I believe that's what she's doing here, or he, whatever the dispatcher is. Most of the dispatchers are female. So anyway, then she goes on. Dispatcher goes on. Let me say that before people start going crazy. Father Bobby has 413, and we know that's a firearm, a gun. Open carry on waist. So he's telling the dispatcher, I have open carry on my waist, I got a gun. And you can have that. You're in your house or even outside here. If you're not a convicted felon, you can do open carry in Nevada. Let me start out again. Father Bobby has 413, open carry on waist, was advised to secure the 413 before answering the door for the officers because they don't want the guy going to the door with the gun. Cops get upset, even if it's your own property, and you're allowed to do that. So that's what she's advising the guy. Now, it's going to get interesting here in a minute. 0037, 49 seconds. 725 advised. 725 would be the sergeant for that squad. Okay? Now, listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. 0038 hours, 25 seconds. In quotes, REQCIT. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, she's requesting a crisis intervention team officer. And it says, due to story sounding extremely 425, which means suspicious. Person reporting possibly 421A, mentally ill person. So now she's saying again, she thinks they're mentally ill 421A because of the story, but she just said before all subjects inside negative 421A. So anyway, I'm just reading what's on the log. So let's go down from there. So that's what she says. Now it's 00:38 and 44 seconds. This is interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Assistant Sheriff advised by landline. Okay. Now let me get that off the screen there for a second, because I want to put up this here. This is the latest organizational chart for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. And you can see on the bottom it says March 18, 2023. And as you can see, you go over to the left-hand side, there's 3 assistant sheriffs in Las Vegas. So the assistant sheriff for law enforcement operations, let me put that up over there again so you can see it. In other words, the patrol division and some other stuff, is Assistant Sheriff James Seabach. And you can see if you go down where I highlighted, it says a Northwest Area Command. I highlighted because the Northwest Area Command is where the location of the residence is, where these people saw this crash come down from the sky, alleged aliens or subjects in the backyard. So just some information for you in case you're not familiar with the LVMPD or Las Vegas. Let's get my thing back up on the screen here. And get the log back up. Zoom it out there for a second. Okay. Now everything I'm reading here is coming right from what's up on the screen for you, the dispatch log. Like I said, minus the personal identifiers. So I find this interesting because now at 00:38 and 44 seconds, Assistant Sheriff advised by landline. And like I said, the Assistant Sheriff for Law Enforcement Operations, which covers the Northwest Area Command Patrol Sector, is Assistant Sheriff James Seabach. Now, it's 38 minutes after midnight, early morning hours of May 1st. Now, I didn't ask any of my police officers this, but I'm assuming they don't notify the number 3 guy running the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department at 12:30 in the morning for every call. So whatever their parameters are for doing what she did, I don't know. But all we know is that at 00:38 hours, the dispatcher felt that she had to notify the assistant sheriff in charge of the patrol division about the call. So that's in the log there. And then we go to 00:56, 40 seconds. Now we're coming up to almost 1 o'clock in the morning on May 1st. Primary unit, that's what she's logging in, is going to be 1 David Paul 68, vehicle number 22034. And then she logs in the officer's name, Matthew Muzdecker, Muzdeca. And she puts in, I keep saying she it could be a male dispatcher, so I don't mean any disrespect. Dispatcher puts in status from pending to active. So now it's active because now they assigned it to a primary police officer who's going to handle the case. 1 David Paul 68, and that's Officer Muzdecker. And then she puts in 1 David Paul 62, Officer Curtis Slate, SLATE. That's the backup officer. So two people are going to the call. I'm going to get back to that later on after you hear my interview with the witness that I did on Friday. So now we're at 00:57 and 50 seconds. 1 David Paul 68 is CIT. So she's putting into the log that Officer Muzdecker, who's 1 David Paul 68, that's their unit number. That's the unit identification. And that means that Officer Muzdecker is certified, has undergone training, and is certified in crisis intervention. And they have a lot of police officers that go through the CIT training, and they're trained in how to how to handle emotionally disturbed persons and people like that have mental problems. So she's saying he is CIT trained because she asked for a CIT requested, and then he is, so she's put that in there. So now we go to 01:03 and 57 seconds. 1 David Paul 62, who's Officer Slate, he's out with the reporting person at the residence. So now the backup officer is at the residence. Okay, I don't see anything logged in when Muzdecker got there, but at 1:23, which is almost 1:30 in the morning, she logs in 1 David Paul 68, and then that's Officer Musdecker, code 4. So he's saying he's code 4, which means they're okay. There's nothing crazy going on. They're not in any danger, code 4. Then we go about a half hour later, a little more than a half hour later, at 02:04 in 58 hours, disposition field, IDA, and I said that before, the disposition code IDA means unable to locate. So at 2:04, the dispatcher's logging in that the officer is saying that the primary officer was Decker, they're unable to locate. Something falling out of the sky, alleged crash site, subjects in the yard, unable to locate. And then at 2:06 and 45 seconds, the last entry that I have. I'm not saying that's the last entry for this, but it appears it is, and I'll tell you why in a second. She logs in, again, dispatcher logs in, 1 David Paul 62, Officer Slate, disposition, and Nora. Now that's the backup officer. And when the backup officer's clear, they don't have like a disposition, like unable to locate or arrest made. That's just what they say. And Nora means I'm clear, and he's the backup one. So at 02:06, 1 David Paul 62, Officer Slate, he clears the scene, and Nora, which means I'm gone. I'm the second officer. I'm not there anymore. And then they log in. The dispatcher logs in. Call status from active to closed. So the call is closed. End of story. But not really. But that's what we have so far on there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on Friday, May 19th, 2023, a couple of days ago, I made contact with the family at the residence. And you can hear a couple of things here. I told them I wouldn't release their last name. I wouldn't release the address. Now, when I interviewed them, when I was talking to them originally, I had video surveillance from my cell phone. And I told them I wouldn't identify any faces. I'll have more on that in a second. But just so you know, so I wasn't talking to Ghost. Clear this. Okay, clear that. Okay. Again, you can't see anything here, but this is the older teenager, young man that I spoke to, and you can't see his face. There's no you can't identify him. I'm just putting that up there for that's the way he looked when I interviewed him on Friday. So we get that off the screen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what you're going to hear here is my interview. It's about 7-8 minutes, and just follow it until he tells me to turn off the recording, and he'll talk to me more. But just a couple of highlights here as you're listening, because I think you should be able to hear it fine. I upped the audio, increased the audio from the phone, and a couple of things that he said, you'll hear him say. We just have to keep the information under lock right now. Then he goes on, we've had a little problem. I don't know if you heard. Something fall down from the sky. Supposedly the information going to be, secret. And then I asked, did you see something fall from the sky? I did, his response. I saw something fall from the sky, some weird activity, and I'll talk more about that. So that'll give you a little bit of clarification as what you hear here. Now I'm going to play Now I took this audio off the video because if I would have played the video, it would have showed their faces, the father, the mother, the house location and everything, and I gave my word I wouldn't do that, so I took the audio off my video, and these are excerpts of it, and I left things out that would, with last names and stuff for the address or anything that would lead to people to think where this location is, even though, and I'll tell you later on, is that a lot of people know where this place is, so we'll get to that later. So here's the interview.
I'd like to talk to you. You the guys that called in, something fell from the sky May 1st. Would you be willing to talk to me? I'd like to talk to the people who called in the complaint on May 1st, 12:30 in the morning, reference to something falling out of the sky.
Yeah, there's some. We just gotta keep the information a little bit locked right now. Yeah, how do you get the information?
From my police sources.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I have a little, I have a little problem. I don't know if you heard something fall down from the sky, but supposedly the information was gonna be, secret about it. You know who to give you the information? I just want to know.
My police sources. I'm a journalist. I get sources, information from the police.
You paid him or just give it to you?
No, we don't pay for information. I've done a bunch of stories on the police stories with the Baltimore Post-Examiner. I have my own podcast. You go online, Doug Poppa Podcast.
Oh, you have a podcast?
Or you can go Doug Poppa, Baltimore Post-Examiner. You see about 350 stories I wrote for them on the massacre, the Las Vegas massacre, police story, and stuff like this. Yeah. Did anybody else see this, or a family member, or just you?
Just me, my brother, but it's just me. Like I don't want to put nobody in the family.
Who's Bobby? Police report said they talking to the son, and then the father Bobby came on, who had a 413. I see your dad carries open carry.
Yeah,
that's Bobby.
Yeah.
Okay. So he doesn't want to talk to me. Did you see something fall from the sky?
I did.
Okay. We're at the house now. Can you tell me where it was, where you saw it fall from? They said about 12:30 in the morning on May 1st.
It was around 12 o'clock. I saw it at 12 o'clock. I'm a mechanic. This is what I do.
I saw all I was here earlier, about 10 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
And I rang the doorbell. There was nobody here, and I saw all the cars, and I just left.
Okay.
So I talked
this is what we do.
to
We restore cars and cars. We're Christians. We believe in God, our Lord and Savior Jesus. So we're I saw something fall from the sky, something weird activity. What do you hear? I don't want to don't want to get into this mess, but what do you heard?
I heard you reported something fell from the sky, and you saw some people or somebody in the yard.
Okay.
And the officers came out and took a report.
Yeah.
When they came out, were they professional? Did they handle everything correctly, you think, when they came out?
They did not.
They didn't?
No, the first cops, no.
What didn't they do?
I told them what happened. They got scared and they left.
They what?
They got scared and they left. I know it's crazy to believe, huh? I know it's crazy if you don't believe in UFOs and stuff, but...
You tell me the officers two officers, according to the dispatch log that I have, responded out here. I don't have the name. I got the names, but it's at home. And they cleared. They said they were over here. It looks like about a half hour, and then they cleared. So you're saying that they...
May 1st? The cops? You talking about?
Okay, the call came in May 1st.
Okay.
It's 0029, which is midnight 29
correct.
minutes after midnight.
Yeah.
The call came in, and the dispatch logs, I don't have it with me, but the dispatch log said, callers say something fell from the sky, and there's things or something walking around in their yard, sitting inside a forklift or something.
Yeah.
And they said they don't look like they're human. That's what's in the log.
Yeah, that's what
And then about 20 minutes, I don't have the time in my head,
Yeah.
2 units came out here, and then at some point in time, about a half hour later, they cleared. Is that basically what happened that night?
That's something what happened, I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's something, we can talk in private if you want. About the phones or, anything. I know you guys, but I can talk to you in private.
Did somebody tell you not? Let me ask you this. Did any other journalists come out here and talk to you since this happened? Any other reporter?
No, just a news reporter, that's it.
Just a news reporter? Who was it? Which one? What news?
I can't, they told me not to say.
They told you not to say anything?
They told me not to say.
Was that recently, or was that like after this thing happened?
Recently, like a couple days ago.
A couple days ago? From Vegas? A Vegas reporter?
From Vegas, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did anybody, after the police left, the next day since they left, did anybody from any government organization come back here and talk to you about anything?
Not the just saw some, couple of government stuff, but that's about it. They never talked to me.
They didn't talk to you? How do you know they were government?
I saw their plate. Just turn off the phone. I'll tell you everything. Just turn off the phone, please. I'm sorry.
You don't want me to record you? Okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully the audio, and I don't know now, I heard it fine through my headphones, but we'll see what comes out on the end result, on the production. So you heard him, he admitted that he called in, he stands by what he said. When you heard him say, yes, I called in about the subjects, yes. Saw something fall, yes. I asked him about, at the end there, when it goes off, we talked a little bit more, but it was like pulling teeth from this guy. And you heard him say, I wanted to talk to the father, but he was talking Spanish, and the father was talking English too, but he asked him in Spanish, did you want to talk to me? And the father said no. But I did see the father, and he did have us open carry pistol on his waist. So that was the gentleman who also talked to the dispatcher on May 1st. And the name verified, the kid verified, yeah, that's my father, that's Bobby. So, and I asked him the last name, but I'm not going to talk about the last name. So, him and the brother, the younger brother, told me that when I talked about the vehicle, he said that later that day, they saw an unmarked vehicle parked across the street from their house, and I guess the brother, somebody, anyway, they saw white U.S. government tags on the car. That's what they told me. But it looked like whoever was in the car was looking at the house, and then it just took off. Nobody went out and interviewed them and talked to them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I put up on the screen here is this home, as far as I can determine up now, like I said, this started coming in to me Thursday and Friday, and then we had the weekend, and it's hard to get. I still have a lot of investigation going on this and a lot of requests out to different things, different organizations that I'll follow up on another podcast. But the house was sold earlier this year, and it's now owned by an LLC, and I got things going on with that. But for right now, I'm going to put this up on the screen here. Okay. Okay. What are you looking at here? When the house was sold earlier this year, this is from Zillow, one of the real estate sites, and you can't identify the house. I mean, there's no numbers on it, and I'm not going to say where it's at. It is the northwest section of Las Vegas, and it is, I'm pointing this out for a reason. You see the left-hand photo, you see a lamp pole with a lamp on the top. And then on the right-hand side, this is the big rear yard. And there was a lot of vehicles in there when I was up there early Friday morning. But anyway, you see the lamp pole and the concrete base. That is on private property. That is in their rear yard of the home these people are renting from the owner. So there's a reason why I have that up there. So I'll just leave that there for now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like I said before, early Friday morning, I think it was 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11, I was up at the house because I wanted to interview the residents, see if they'd give me an interview. And they had a Ring doorbell, which they later told me doesn't work. I banged on the door. Nobody answered. I walked around the neighborhood. The neighborhood was very quiet, and knocked on a couple of neighbors' doors. Didn't get any answer. I walked around up and down. Didn't see any vehicles coming down. I did talk to a lady who was walking with the dog, said she lived around the corner, told her who I was, I had my press credentials on, and asked her if she remembers back to May 1st, 12:30 in the morning, did she hear anything or see anything falling from the sky or any type of activity in the neighborhood? And she said, I don't go out at 12:30. She was probably sleeping. There was two other people later on that were walking down, looks like from the previous block, husband and wife just walking. I talked to them, same thing, they can't remember, they don't remember seeing or hearing anything, so that's it. So the reason why I got these things up on the screen there. Now, after I turned off the recording, he did talk a little bit more, but it was like pulling teeth from this guy. And one thing that always bothers me, people, when you do interviews, is when the first thing out of somebody's mouth is, "Do you pay for information?" I think you heard that on the thing when he said, "Well, where do you get your information from?" I said, "Police officers." He goes, "Well, do you pay for information?" I said, "No, of course not." And then they did tell me that journalists, they've been getting calls and stuff, and the guy I talked to, you saw with the NASA shirt on, told me that some local people, journalists, this is what he told me, were telling him they would pay him for an interview. And he said he didn't take any money, and as of yet, I have yet to see any interview with anybody at the house on any news media, and this thing happened on May 1st. And I responded to him, and I said, well, if any journalist offers you money to do an interview, one, their reputation is shot, and number two, so's your credibility. He said, why? I said, because you become an actor and not a witness, because now you're being paid. So I said, no reputable journalist is going to say, we'll give you money to do an interview. I mean, I'm sure there's, maybe some out there that do that, but I don't do it. And so anyway, we go on to that. We talked about the government tag. Now, the mother comes out. The mother's starting talking to me. And while the mother's talking to me, ladies and gentlemen, the teenager I talked to, the young man, he's now dialing a phone and he's mentioning my name, and I'll get to that in a second. So the mother tells me that the night those two officers came out, early morning hours, let's say the night, early morning hours from May 1st, she said, well, one was in the back or something, one of the police officers, because she said, you know, the whole neighborhood knows what's going on. Because I said, well, why? She said, because one of the officers that morning came out into the street and was stopping vehicles. It doesn't look like a high-trafficked area, but this is what she's telling me. If a vehicle came out of the street, he was stopping them and asking the occupants, did you see anything fall out of the sky, anything suspicious? That's what she said. And she said that's how the neighbors realize what's going on. So that's what she told me. Now, this is going to get interesting, folks. She said that 2 days, this is from my notes and stuff I put on, and this is not, I'm not reading from a script, so I'm just reading from my notes. She said 2 days after the first two officers arrived for the call, 2 days later, she said two different police officers from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department arrived at the house. And I said, well, how do you know they were police officers? She said they were in uniform and going like this, meaning they had the gear on. She said they had their marked car here and the other thing was over there. And I said, what did they want? They said that they wanted to go into the yard, and they were asking me questions because they told her that the two officers who came out 2 days ago didn't do something correctly. So they had to go back and look in the yard. And that's all she told me is what they said. Now, I asked her, she said, she said, I have business cards for all these officers, original, and I asked if I could see them, and she said no. And they would not let me into the house, and they would not give me permission to go into the yard, the rear yard. While this interview is going on, we're in the front yard of the house, in the front yard. They got like a driveway that goes up to the garage. That's where this interview was taking place. So that's what happened 2 days later. Now she says 2 or 3 days after the second two officers came, two Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department detectives arrived at home. Said one was female, one was male. I said, you sure they were detectives? She says, yeah, they showed me their, the credentials. They gave me their business cards. I asked her, what division where they were from. She wouldn't tell me. She wouldn't tell me their names. So she goes on and says that they told her they were investigating the case and they wanted to go back into the yard. She was a little dismayed, like when she was talking to me, like she thought the case was closed, so she doesn't know, the case. But that's what they said. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just telling you what this lady told me. Now, I told you earlier that I was there Friday morning, the 19th, and I looked around the house. I was looking for surveillance cameras, thinking hopefully maybe they have surveillance. A lot of people have surveillance cameras, these different things, and maybe they had recorded something. It would be on the recording, but I couldn't see any surveillance cameras other than the Ring doorbell that the mother told me was from the previous owner, and it doesn't work. So, but here's what's getting interesting, ladies and gentlemen. You see those two photographs? Let me zoom them out again. Okay? Well, I'm talking to her. The son also pointed this out to me when I got there, but I waited before I got into this. And then the mother says, now, I'm going to put this up on the screen here. You saw this, okay? The lamp pole on private residential property in their rear yard. They're renting the property. It's a rental property. And that's the lamp post from a couple of months ago, I guess, when the house was being sold earlier this year. Or whenever. It doesn't matter. It just shows that's where the lamp post is on private property. Okay, let me get rid of that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Okay, that's the lamp post in the backyard. I'm sorry the thing's not clear, but I took it from the video that I had, and I don't want to show the video because it'll show the address of the house. Anyway, so now she tells me, as you can see there's two surveillance cameras, and you go up from the lamp down the cameras, and you see that box, okay? Now, I was out there early in the morning. I left, I guess, maybe 11:30, somewhere around there, because I couldn't get nobody in the neighborhood. I couldn't get nobody at the house. Now she tells me that, this is what the mother's telling me. She says, on Friday, May 19th, about 12 o'clock, a personnel from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department arrived at home and told her that they were given permission from the owner of the property to install police video surveillance cameras on their property and that they needed to go into the backyard to access that. And she said they did. So they went into the yard, they put the cameras up, and she told me that they told her it was for their protection. That's what she told me. And that police personnel told her the cameras have 300, this is her own words, 360-degree rotation and are equipped with microphones. Okay? Now, I was in the surveillance business with the casinos for years and did my own install for people on surveillance. So 360-degree rotation cameras, they're PTZs, pan-tilt zoom. In other words, they can pan it 360, or they can tilt them up and down, elevation, and they can zoom the lens into wherever they want. So that pole you see there was at that house, the light pole with the surveillance cameras. When I was there, this interview was conducted later in the evening. I went back to the house later on, and that's when I got this interview. So she said at 12 o'clock Friday, the police personnel came out and installed that. Now, if you, like I said, you see the box up on the top, I believe that's a microwave transmission, not to get technical, but microwave transmission, maybe through a cell phone, they do it and do 5.8, anyway, we get into the technical stuff, possibly going to a repeater, but she said they told her they're monitoring it from somewhere in Metro headquarters. So that's what she told me. I'm not making this stuff up, but I actually could see that's the lamppost in their backyard on private property that the police came on, and according to her, put these surveillance cameras there. Now, while I'm talking to her, she's telling me they're probably looking at us right now. And I said, well, if they are, they can, because if you see the camera's line of sight, the camera can see you. And you can see we're in the front yard, so the cameras can look right over the roof of the house. So, ladies and gentlemen, and she was concerned. She says, well, they told me, as what protection? She goes, maybe because people are coming over, like people are asking about what's going on. A lot of people know about this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show some videos here in a second, okay? But these cameras, to me, are troubling. If indeed they were put, I'm not saying the woman was lying. I'm just telling you exactly what she said. They were put on that property by LVMPD personnel who said they got a permission from the owner. That's what she said. So I'm going with what she told me. And, I would have saw this early in the morning if they were there. I didn't notice them. Maybe I'm not brain dead, but anyway, she said they came out 12 o'clock. If I would have stayed at the property another half hour, I probably would have seen these people come in. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's what she told me. That is the light pole with the cameras, surveillance equipment on there, as I saw it Friday evening at this residence in the northwest section of Las Vegas. Okay. Now, before I get to my videos, remember I said while I was talking to the mother, and the kid was kind of, they talk Spanish too, was kind of telling the mother when she got something in Spanish like shut up, don't talk to him or something. And she just kind of went like this, and she started talking to me, and that's what she said. You heard what I, from my notes and stuff, what she said. Now I want to say something, okay? The dispatch log, I just want to get back to that. You remember the kid saying that they came out, the young man that said that the police left and they were scared? Well, obviously that didn't happen, because we know from the log, like I said, they arrived about 1 o'clock, a half hour after the call went out, and they left about 2 o'clock a.m. At least that's what the dispatch log shows, okay? And how many reasons to doubt that they weren't there? But when he said they came out and they left, it sounded weird to me, but we know that didn't happen according to the dispatch log, okay? The record. So I'm going to put that out there. And we know because the mother told me, well, one of them was in the house, the other came out and was stopping a car if he saw it coming down the street. So obviously these guys didn't run away like the kid said. Maybe they were afraid of UFOs or something and they left. So that's what he told me, but it doesn't pan out what's in the police log. Just reporting the facts as I know them, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Remember I said while I was talking to the mom, the guy I talked to, the young man, was on the phone, and he mentioned my name to whoever he was talking to. And when he got off the phone, I said, who were you talking to? He said, her. I said, her who? He said, one of the journalists. And she told me she knows who you are. And then he said, I don't want to talk anymore. So whoever he was talking to, he said it was a journalist, female, and that because he did mention my name. I said that. I heard him on the phone while I was talking to the mother, and heard him say Doug Poppa, and I couldn't make out anything else he was saying. He was speaking English, but because the mom was talking to me, but he said she knows who you are. Well, great to be known in Las Vegas because of all the stories I broke in Las Vegas over the past couple of years, both for the Baltimore Post-Examiner and on my podcast. I've yet to receive one phone call on any of these police investigations, these cover-ups that I've been doing from any journalist in Las Vegas. Anyway, I'll throw that in there. So, ladies and gentlemen, to get one more shot of this, you can go back later and, free shot this stuff if you want and if you care. And I have a lot of things going on right now, different requests in and stuff for different things going on about this, and I'll do follow-up podcasts later on. If I get any more information, I believe I will. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to show now is, okay, and when I talked to the family, they were aware of this video. They said the journalist had showed them that like a week, 2 weeks ago. Remember I said at the original, when I put that thing out on Twitter, that there was an officer at a different location and they saw something fall from the sky? Well, supposedly this body cam video, it's making its way around through Metro and all over the place for at least 2.5 weeks, because it's now, it was the 19th, and, we're at 2.5 weeks, coming up 3 weeks since this thing happened. So, and they told me, even the kid was telling me, he says, yeah, they showed us the video. I said, who? He says, the journalist that were out here, okay? Now, what you're going to look at, and I'm putting this out because my police sources told me that the video you're going to see, they saw it, and they did confirm that is police body cam video from around the same time. This is what they're telling me. This call went out to dispatch from the family. That's what I'm being told. Now, the problem with the video, ladies and gentlemen, it's on it's on somebody's cell phone because they're passing this around and the person is shown to somebody else. But you can clearly see in the video the officer's car on the left to the screen, and he's talking to some citizen about, something unrelated. And look at when I play it, and it'll loop in a couple of times, look at the upper right-hand corner of the video, and you will see something falling from the sky. And it even caught the attention of the citizen and the police officer, because if you look at the extreme right-hand side of the screen, when I play this, you'll see the citizen turn around, and you'll see the hand go up from the officer, and he's like pointing, okay? This is police body cam video that I got this from sources, but it's on this cell phone, so it's like not like the actual body. It's a body cam video. The problem I have, ladies and gentlemen, I can't see the date and time because it's unclear because it's coming off this other person's cell phone. But I was advised by police sources that is 100% legitimate police body cam. What I don't have right now is the location where that police officer was. So I can't get a bearing, and I don't even have the exact time that this thing happened. So I can't get a bearing on the thing you'll see fall from the sky because I don't know the location. It looks like it may be falling behind trees or whatever. I'm not going to speculate on what this thing was. So I'm going to play the video as I received it. And here we go. Okay, Bill, you go back and look. Just so you know, to point out, you see that white object, whatever it is, falling, let's put it this way, descending from the sky downward. You really can't hear too much audio on that recording. But like I said, my sources say that is from the police officer's body cam video who was out at an unrelated call in the vicinity. And when I talked to the mother, she said they saw this and they told her, she said journalists told her, that this officer was in the vicinity of where their home was, whatever that means. But That's all I can do, ladies and gentlemen. That's the videos I got. I don't know this location. So I don't know the location of that thing falling to the location of the house. And also, it looks like there's a tree there. Now, to me, somebody said it was a parachute flare. When they do military just training. I'm not going to speculate on all this, but it does not look like a parachute flare to me. It's descending too fast. It doesn't look like a pyrotechnic because we don't see anything going up, ascending. We just see something fall, something white. And I heard from the people talking that it may have had a bluish green tint or something like that. But anyway, play it again here. It's looping around. Look up at the sky there on the right-hand side. You'll see this thing falling, and then you'll see the reaction to the citizen and the cop. They turn around and they look at it. So that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. Take it from its worth. I hope to have more detailed information on this, hopefully in sometime in the next couple of days. So that's what we got there. Now, to me, it also, from my sake, it could be a meteor, but I don't know if this thing fell and crashed or it's going down the curvature of the Earth, because I don't know the location. It appears there's trees back there where it goes down. But anyway, and is this the same object? This is all speculation. We don't know. Is this the same object that the caller saw when he called in something fell and possibly crashed in the yard? Or could it have been two objects that fall? There's also speculation from my police sources saying that it may have been, some of them saying it could be a meteor, some of them saying it may be something from Nellis Air Force Base, because as you know, Nellis Air Force Base is in Clark County. Matter of fact, I just live a couple of blocks from it. And then we have Creech Air Force Base in Indian Springs that does the drones and the Predators and the training, and they operate them up there. And then we have the National Test Site, which is part of the Nellis Range, and that's where all the experimentation goes on and new stuff like that. So is this something that they did and they lost, or something fall? Was it one of these Chinese balloons or something? We could speculate for hours, and I'm not going to speculate on this podcast because I don't have any idea what this thing is. But so what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is a call goes into Metro Dispatch. They put it in the log about 12:30, about 15 minutes before that, according to what's in the log. The witness and the father said they saw something fall, but then they additionally say that they saw these alien-type subjects in the yard that was described. So take it for what it's worth. But something obviously fell from the sky in the early morning hours of May 1st, and it possibly could be right before midnight, maybe April 30th. I'm saying May 1st because that's what the dispatch log says. But so you have it. You have that. Now I want to show, ladies and gentlemen, is something that I cannot corroborate except it's a video. Okay. And what this is going to be, supposedly, and the police looked at this from what I'm told. This is what I'm told. Okay. This is a ring video from a home in Las Vegas that was put on a social media site. And my police sources, and I don't see any timing on it, but my police source saying that the time on this video, which I can't see, doesn't really correlate to the complaint of the thing falling and the officer's body cam. But they're saying, who knows? That's what they're hearing. Nobody knows for sure. So this is the way it is. This is a ring camera video from a residence in Las Vegas that posted it. So people, if you're out there, if you posted this, please contact me because I would like to know the date and time that this thing is occurring. I'm just putting this out there because it's a video that I got from another police source. So let's play it. Listen to this. Very interesting. It sounds like, to me, it sounds like something crashing down, and then you hear like an explosion or a crash. Okay? That's my speculating on that. That's what it sounds like to me. So we leave that out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's 54 minutes into this. That's what I got, ladies and gentlemen. Take it for what it's worth. What any of this means, whatever it was, I don't have any explanation for it. Like I said, when I spoke to the family, I just want to say this. They could have told me, get the hell off our property, leave us alone. They didn't, it was very hesitant to talk, and it was like pulling teeth to try to get information out of them. But they were very polite. They're not meth addicts. It's not a drug house. They were very polite, even though the father said he didn't want to talk to me. The mother started talking to me and told me some other stuff, but basically I put out, the important stuff of what she said. Very, very polite family. The younger brother was there, and he also saw he said the car with the white tags. Now, the mother did say something to me when I was talking. She said, they're teenagers. They watch YouTube and the conspiracy videos and all that. But that's what she said to me. We don't know. I know one thing, okay? Something came out of the sky, as you saw from that video. I believe that's true. And whether it crashed or whatever, I don't know. The police say there was no evidence, a crash, unable to locate. So we're just going to leave it at that at this point, and hopefully I will get more information. If it comes to a point where the family or this guy I talked to calls me up and wants to do a live podcast, he's more than welcome to come on the show, any family member, and talk. I gave my contact information to the mother and said, if you have any problems, you want to talk, here's my cell phone number to contact me. So that's all I got right now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't normally handle stories like this, but because there appears to be corroboration from that body cam video that something was coming down. Now, whether that was the same thing the family saw, I don't know. But there's also something very strange here. If indeed those cameras, and I'm not saying they weren't, because I'm going with what the family told me, if those surveillance cameras that were there Friday night, okay, were put in by the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and they're monitoring them from their location somewhere, and one of the cops told me maybe the Fusion Center or something, that's neither here nor there, is why would the police put police video cameras on private property to watch the house for the safety of the residents, the family? Because normally what they do is if you have a problem, the cops come out and they say, maybe you need to hire a surveillance contractor to get some, surveillance cameras on your property. Because I used to do surveillance camera installs. That's what they say. But it's very puzzling. There's another thing, too, that kind of bothers me with this. He said they got permission from the owner. Was this done through a court order, even though it's on private property? Because those cameras, if indeed she said they got 360 rotation, pan, tilt, zoom, that's what they are, they can move them around. They got audio, which means all the houses around this residence, and I walk the property around the block, there is no public right-of-way on any of these places. The houses have big, big rear yards like you saw in the photo. They back up to one another. But that camera, you can see from the other side of the street, can zoom in, if they are zooming the cameras, PTZ zooms, like you said, 360 rotation, into other people's property, right into a window. So it's puzzling. It's puzzling to me that the police would put police equipment video surveillance on this property for the safety of the family. That's what she said they told her. So anyway, I'm going to have much more on this in the next couple of days and have a bunch of requests out to different things, and hopefully we can get maybe a little bit more information. Ladies and gentlemen, take it for what it's worth. This is the Doug Poppa podcast from Las Vegas, Nevada. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, it's free. Audio podcast versions available on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcast, and a bunch of other stuff. If you want to support my work, because I don't make money from doing these podcasts, it's paypal.me / Doug Poppa. So, it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's I forgot to put the titles up. I don't think I had them going on because I wanted to play the videos and stuff, but this is what I had going across the screen here. Exclusive. Did something fall out of the sky in Las Vegas, Nevada on May 1st, 2023? And why is the family that called it in under police video surveillance? I think I forgot to play these too many buttons out here, and I got a lot of notes and stuff going on when I was talking. And why is the residence of the family that reported it allegedly under police surveillance, because the mother did tell me they were installed by Metro police personnel, and she said they're watching it from their headquarters, wherever, and they put it there for their protection. And also, if the case was closed, ladies and gentlemen, like it's reported in the log, then why did these two other officers, like the mother said, came back 2 days later and said the other cops didn't do something correctly or something? What are they looking for? And if it's a case closed, then what are detectives investigating? And she wouldn't tell me what unit they're in. Are they from Homeland Security detectives? Are they property crimes? What are they investigating? What case? If the case was closed, there is no case. They said IDA, unable to locate. So obviously the officers didn't see a crash site. They didn't see a depression. They didn't see any people or strange beings walking around. So why did, 5 days later, these two detectives come out, and like the mother said, she don't know, saying they're investigating the case, but they wouldn't. What case are they investigating? What are they investigating? I don't know. I mean, they're investigating the family. The family did something wrong. I don't know. It's right now. That's all the information I have. So I'm not going to do a whole lot of speculation on it. And like I said, you see here on the bottom, subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Doug Poppa podcast on YouTube, and then audio podcast. And I thought I had this stuff going, the banners going, but I guess I didn't. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to shut this thing down. And it's Monday, May 22nd, 2023, from Las Vegas, Nevada. You've been watching the Doug Poppa podcast, and we'll see you on the next episode.
This lawman sacrificed his badge for justice.
Poppa knew a secret that could free a man wrongfully imprisoned for shooting his ex-wife. But when Poppa stepped forward, he was cut down by his own police department.
All this stuff's going in my head. Should I call up to the defense attorney? Okay? And I knew if I did that, holy hell would break loose.
Deputy Sheriff Doug Poppa used to be one of the top cops in rural Loudoun County, Virginia. Deputy Poppa feels he's been busted himself. He lost his job as a narcotics investigator, he says, when he told an ugly truth about a 4-year-old crime. The truth about how his own department and the local prosecutor allegedly ignored key evidence and may have sent an innocent man to jail.
I testified, and everything changes.
What Deputy Poppa testified about was an attempted murder in 1987.
They deliberately withheld evidence that should have been given to my defense attorneys.
Bill Birch is the prosecutor Deputy Poppa accused of ignoring the evidence.
He says, I told the prosecutor, I told Mr. Birch that this woman said, I'm going to shoot myself if need be, and I'm going to make it look like my husband did it just to ruin his life. Did he say that to you?
No, he did not.
But this November, the court believed Doug Poppa.
Oh my goodness, is this the reception committee?
And on Valentine's Day, William Carter was released on a $50,000 bond and given a new trial.
This man usually puts people on trial in this courthouse, but in a rare turn of events, the Loudoun County Commonwealth Attorney was called to the witness stand. William Birch was asked to respond to allegations that he pressured a witness to lie in earlier court proceedings.
No, sir.
A woman who lived at the Carter mansion the night Carol Vandergrift Carter was shot 5 years ago testified that the prosecutor coached her to withhold testimony about the gun involved.
I certainly did tell him about that it was a .38.
I don't recall her saying anything about the gun, a .38 caliber, anything like that.
He's lying to cover his tracks on the last trial.
The high price one cop is paying for telling the truth.
After serving more than 4 years behind bars, Carter was on the edge of his seat when the verdict was read today.
We, the jury, on Keisha's joint, find the defendant William Douglas Carter not guilty.
After he audibly thanked the jury, Douglas Carter could not contain himself. The tears flowed.
When I came out and testified in November of 1991 at the habeas corpus hearing, and again in January, I was suspended for 10 days without pay, and I ended up being fired after 12 years in this department.